Hello and welcome back as we continue the series on Cybis Porcelain. The magnificent porcelain sculptures released by the Cybis studio were among some of the most impressive works to have ever been produced. Rightfully so, our first thoughts of the art produced by Cybis is focused on these items. It's a little known fact that Boleslaw Cybis endeavored to expand his artistic abilities and creative ideas in the area of film and cinematography. No known copies of the films Boleslaw made are known to exist today. It is, however, possible some remain in private collections, but none have come to light thus far. After the deaths of Boleslaw and Marja Cybis in the 1950s, the studio passed to Marilyn Charlton, who would also decide to create artistic films with an emphasis on the Cybis studio. These efforts were not simple documentaries, but artistic creations relating to the design, development, and sculpting of porcelain art. These films were presented in an artistic style prevalent in the early 1970s and were specifically created for showings at gallery events across the nation. Collectors attending special events by private invitation only could enjoy viewing the films during exclusive afternoon and evening galas where new Cybis sculptures were unveiled and made available for sale. These events with special film presentations further enhanced the Cybis mystique and created venues Cybis owners could enjoy which other studios were yet to consider offering while promoting their products. So what happened to the Cybis films? At least 3 films are known to have been produced. Those films were presumed to have been forgotten and lost. However, an exciting discovery of the 1973 Cybis film Porcelain Enchantments has recently been found. The 16mm film has been converted to a digital format, making it available for viewing once more. While the film is in overall good condition with clear audio, the color has faded. Having been produced using Kodak's Eastman color film, like others during the same time period, most of the color has been lost. The film was originally shot in color but is now primarily pink and red due to fading. According to the National Archives, in an article from their website published in 2016, color fading on film produced between 1950 and the late 1970s is a result of 2 of the 3 color dye layers having faded. The cayenne and yellow dye layers fade, leaving only the magenta visible as the prominent hue, and thus what appears to be a red or pink and white film. This is the result of a technique Kodak developed whereby they used a single strip of film instead of 3 separate film rolls as were required when producing the infamous Technicolor films. Not until the late 1970s did filmmakers realize their works were fading. Some 30 years of film produced during this era now show signs of fading. Unfortunately, the Cybis films produced in the early 70s reflect this issue. While it is possible to capture the images from the 16mm film, converting them to a digital format, the expense to fully restore the film is cost prohibitive at this time. With that understanding, the film has been converted to a digital format and is now available here for viewing. Likely this is the first time in some 40 years it has been available for Cybis enthusiasts to enjoy. The following 26-minute presentation is the full-length 1973 feature film Porcelain Enchantments. I hope you will enjoy the video, and please take a minute to subscribe to this channel so you can receive notifications when future episodes are released. Thanks again, and enjoy the film.
Listen. Can you hear how many heartbeats, how many lives hide amongst the leaves? Listen carefully. Can you hear the butterfly fan its wings? Feel the dewdrops upon the ground. See the spider spin his web. See a bird high above the trees. We must be observers if we are to be inspired. In art, we are recreating a very personal impression about what we see and feel. Can you feel into the dark corners where roots push the rocks apart, where little buds rise through the earth? Clouds float upon a stream. And bright, warm air nourishes the leaves. Here, every branch is gifted with a structure and beauty all its own. Can you feel the pulse of this place? We feel a kind of excitement when we begin a sculpture. The clay responds. Ideas are being released. Our image is forming. Where would we be without nature when the din and discord of our lives deafen us? We come here and listen for the sounds of solitude. Art influences us in ways we never think of. It is a frozen moment. At the Cybis studio, we like to think we're taking an instant in time and capturing it in porcelain. For the artist, creating a porcelain sculpture is something very special. We not only have the play of light and shadow, but the beauty of its natural translucency and color. color from the Earth's own minerals. Copper, iron, gold, cobalt, with the experienced touch of the Cybis artist, they become every hue and shade imaginable. There's magic here. Here in the heat of the kiln. The clay begins a subtle change. Blossoms respond. Leaves relax. The intense heat helps each sculpture to find its own natural grace. This is where the porcelain takes its final form, a form which no one can exactly predict. This is why no two pieces are really alike. The mental image transforms into the physical. Graceful lines recalled from memory. But memory alone is not enough. That a porcelain be true to its origins is important to Cybis. Old manuscripts and drawings lend us their minute detail and knowledge. The artist is much like the poet, the composer, the architect. Planning, studying, revising, stage after stage, with infinite patience. Until that moment comes when its form, color, and mood make it something within itself. It exists. It is Cybis. Like the ancient porcelain artists, we too work with nature's own elements: earth, air, fire, and water. Though porcelain is delicate, it is lasting. Created from a fine sense of heritage, Cybis art will endure, to be judged and enjoyed. From every era, porcelain art speaks like memories of past inspirations.